I got 3 videos put together for a much clearer picture. It's important you watch all 3 of them. Because this shit's deep. Like, real deep.
This whole computer crash is getting pretty wild, ain't it? But what if I told you that this whole thing is just a part of the corrupt house of cards falling down? It's just not easy to see. I'll do my best to show you what's going on, but it's for entertainment value, of course, because I know absolutely nothing, and I'm just making this stuff up. All right, by now, everybody knows that the cybersecurity company CrowdStrike is the reason for this outage. All right, now there's 2 parts to this video. The first one, CrowdStrike has 2 major shareholders, one being BlackRock. And it's funny how BlackRock was in the news recently. The second biggest shareholder of CrowdStrike, Vanguard. Now this article, I need you to keep in mind, CrowdStrike is known as a partner to the WEF. It's going to be important to remember. See, the founder of CrowdStrike has been doing a lot of activity in the past few years in a certain area. This guy here, George Kurtz, and that's the area. Now, he's been taking his company through the Big Is and buying up different cybersecurity companies in the area. Here's another one for $2 billion. Now, the Big Is has been known for years for their technology. I mean, one of the major GPS companies that's used here in the US is controlled by the Big Is. But their biggest claim to fame, cybersecurity. Oh, and side note, I hope all you cryptocurrency people are paying attention. But anyway, not only does this guy's company own most of the cybersecurity around the Big Is, but also a partner to the WEF, as well as owned by Vanguard and BlackRock. And how is all that relevant to the outages that we're having? Well, it's funny that the same day that the outages happened, a certain decision came out about the Big Is. And I personally find it funny that all these elites leave breadcrumbs to show us they knew exactly what was going to happen. All a bunch of tangled branches to the same tree. Y'all stay safe.
Wasn't this just the weirdest of coincidences? So we all heard the news today that CrowdStrike caused a global outage all over the planet when they pushed an update out to their servers at Cloudflare. Yeah, that's right. CrowdStrike is the organization that's tied deeply to the DNC. And they're actually the organization that analyzed the DNC servers back when the DNC claimed that their servers were hacked before the 2016 election. But then I came across this interesting update from Maricopa County, Arizona, saying that their early voting machines were down due to the outage. That's weird. And this New York Post article talks about the same thing, how the CrowdStrike global tech outage snarls early voting in Arizona. And it goes on to say some early voting stations in the Grand Canyon state, where early voting has been open since July 3rd, were knocked out of use Friday, according to Maricopa County. And what's so strange about that? Well, there was a lot of news being made after the 2020 election about Maricopa County and their voting machines. And Maricopa County commissioned an independent audit, which came in to assure everybody, don't worry, the voting machines were never connected to the internet. So if their voting machines were not connected to the internet back then, and they probably are using the same type of technology today, how does an outage affect their voting machines?
Paid for it, and the Democrats, a lot of it had to do, they say, with Ukraine. But Mr. President, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. They have the server, right, from the DNC, Democratic National Committee.
Who has the server?
The FBI went in and they told them, get out of here. We're not giving it to you. They gave the server to CrowdStrike, or whatever it's called, which is a company owned by a very wealthy Ukrainian. And I still want to see that server. You know, the FBI has never gotten that server. That's a big part of this whole thing. Why did they give it to a Ukrainian company?
Are you sure they did that? Are you sure they gave it to Ukraine?
No, that's what the word is. That's what I asked actually on my phone call, if you know.
Right.
I mean, I asked it very point blank because we're looking for corruption. There's tremendous corruption corruption. We're looking for why should we be giving hundreds of millions of dollars to countries when there's this kind of corruption?
Remember when they impeached Trump for his quid pro quo, trying to tell him to find something in Ukraine? I found it. Why is this important? I'll show you. That phone call he had with Fox News, this is what he's talking about. And this is what they went for Trump after. And they impeached him for it. Remember that? I remember that. On a scale of 0 to 100, how corrupt is Ukraine now? It's a good number. Too corrupt for NATO, apparently. But we can stay in NATO. Who owns this company now? If you're not the majority, you're the minority. Locked, stocked, and 2 smoking barrels, because BlackRock owns this building too. It is the season to be